Look, you've been lied to. Most guys think if you haven't made it by 18 or 20 or 25, then you are doomed for life. If you haven't achieved your dream physique, your dream body, your dream girlfriend, there's nothing else to look forward to. And this could not be further from the truth. But you're not even close to your prime. 20s is the warm-up. It's the preseason to what you'll actually become in your life. You see, men peak later in life. And when you truly understand this, you stop chasing in all these different directions and instead you start building. You ever hear someone say, man, college was the best time of my life? These men are completely lost. They're losers. If the peak of your life is to show up to school, pretend to do work, and then go out to nightclubs and get plaster drunk with your friends and then hook up with 5s and 6s, then you are gone. These men, they've given up. In fact, I remember when I was considering going to college and I saw my friends, I saw them post on their Snapchat, I saw them post on their Instagram. They were going to parties, they were hooking up, they were living such crazy experiences that I didn't get to experience. I was sitting in my bedroom cold calling, trying to build a business, trying to make something work. And I felt like I missed out on so many activities because I was doing something that I didn't even know if it was going to work. I thought maybe I'm wrong. These guys are living life. They're going to graduate with degrees. And I'm telling you now, as a 30-year-old, I just turned 30, that I couldn't be further from the truth. I'm sitting here now in Italy, taking my dream vacation. Tomorrow I'm going to a different city and I get to travel around and I don't even look at prices. Life is basically free. I go to a restaurant, I order anything I want to do a boat tour, I can book it. And what are they doing? They're stuck in some job. Maybe even they like that job. Maybe they're even well paid. Maybe they're making 6 figures. But they're coming home and they're a little bit depressed. And every time I go back home to my hometown and meet up with these people, I hear them complain and I just don't resonate with them anymore. And slowly but surely, I spend less and less time with these people because we just have nothing in common. A lot of them have gained weight. A lot of them have lost that drive, that motivation, that spark that you can see in their eye. And unfortunately, this is the sad reality of most people that take this traditional route and stop evolving. They stop learning. They stop growing. They stop trying to become better. Look, as a man, you peak later in life. It takes time for you to build your experiences. It takes time to build a business. It takes time for you to live with that level of comfort inside of you that is so attractive to women, that is so attractive to business partners, that's so attractive to even clients. Life has never been easier. Think about it like this. Think about your favorite movie, whether it's maybe Wolf of Wall Street, or maybe it's Casino Royale, maybe you love James Bond. Think about all the classic movies. How old is the main actor in that movie? Is he 25 with a 6-pack? Is he some college frat boy? No. Think about women's romance novels. Think about 50 Shades of Grey, one of the best-selling books for women on what they fantasize about. It is some billionaire CEO that is in his 30s. And you have to ask yourself, well, why is that? It's because of the confidence that you're able to carry later on in life. It's because of the skills. It's because of the assets. It's because of the person that took you years to become. And when you do become that person, when you do achieve this dream lifestyle, you're able to do anything you want. You're able to attract anyone that you'd like. In fact, I remember spending so much of my time chasing women and trying to be in relationships. Most of my 20s, I was actually in a relationship. And guess what? None of those relationships worked out. I have a few friends that have dated and even married their high school sweethearts. But I'm telling you, when we meet up, they still look at my life and they would gladly trade places with me. They ask me questions about things that I'm doing and experiences that I'm having, and I can tell that ounce of jealousy they have in their eyes. And that's not to say you can't have a healthy relationship with your high school sweetheart. Maybe that's you, and you can certainly still do that, but make sure it doesn't stop you from your path, from your journey, and from evolving as a man. And I can tell you, at this point in my life, I'm able to attract a much higher quality woman than I ever was before. And that is for these reasons. If someone tried to date me and I was 20 years old, a fancy dinner for me was going to Subway and buying them a sandwich. I had a shit car I'd pick them up in and barely have enough money to even afford gas. Hollywood knows this, and that's why they pick the characters and the actors that they do in their movies. So do authors. So why aren't we applying it to real life? I think if you're from a first world country like I am, you have a lot of pressure to date and even to marry someone in your 20s, to start having kids in your 20s. But this is the worst possible mentality that you can have, because your dream ideal girl, chances are, wouldn't even be attracted to who you are right now, because you still have so much evolving to do. Look, it is scientifically proven that your physical prime is between 28 and 32. I'm talking peak testosterone, peak muscle mass. And of course you have to train smart, but I never believed this when I was younger, because all the 30-year-olds around me that I saw were fat. They were overweight. They had nothing going for them. They had that look in their eye of depression, that look in their eye of, I gave up, that look in their eye that signaled defeat. They stopped caring. What did they do? They gave up. They at one point had dreams too. So why did they stop pursuing them? And you see now, it is a mental issue. They had a problem with their motivation. They had a problem with overcoming their fears. They had a problem with overcoming the obstacles that life gave them. And so they settled. And like anything, life compounds. If you're going to be a loser now, it will compound in 10 years and you will be a mega loser. If you start winning, even if you're not seeing success, but you're taking the right actions, that will compound you forward, and slowly but surely you will get in better shape. You'll start making more money. Your business will start doing better, and your life will compound forward. You never stay still in life. You're always moving in one direction or another. Either you're moving backwards or you are moving forwards. In fact, just imagine in your mind, imagine someone that you fantasize about, one of these Instagram girls, one of these models that maybe you want to date. Who is she gonna go on a date with? Someone that's just getting started, that's maybe her age, 21, 22, 23? Or does she want someone that's 30, that's 35, has his mental composure down, that has standards in his life, that has confidence, that has money, that has a clear direction, a clear sense of purpose that he is pursuing in his life? Who is she going to feel more comfortable around? Who is she going to feel more confident around? Here's what I wish more guys would understand. Life gets better after 30. If you follow this advice that I'm giving you, follow this advice that I have been taking, then you will achieve anything and everything you've ever wanted. But you have to stay consistent, and you have to stick with the effort. You have to put in the work. You have to continuously level up your life like it's a video game. There was one mental exercise that I remember doing about 10 years ago, and it was around building a dream avatar. I want you to sit down and list out all of the characteristics that your dream character, if they achieved everything they said they would achieve, if they took all the action that you want to take, what would they look like? I'm talking physically, I'm talking mentally, I'm talking spiritually, I'm talking financially. What would their life look like? Who would this person be? What would their mannerisms look like? Are they calm? Are they more grounded? Or are they super upbeat and super high energy? Which of these people do you want to become? You see, if you don't know where you're going, and a lot of people talk about this in terms of manifesting, right? You think about what you want, law of attraction, all this stuff. And I think a lot of times it comes off as very woo-woo. But the thing is, if you are sitting there and in your mind, you can see who you want to become, you are aligning the path of your life in that direction. If you don't know where you are going, you will end up going in circles. You will end up walking in squiggly lines, and you'll have no idea where you're actually trying to get. Don't be that guy. And Certainly don't be disappointed in yourself if you don't have a full business and your entire life planned out by the time you're 22 or even 25. You still have time. These guys on Instagram, these guys on YouTube that you see $1 million at 18 or $1 million at 21, they are the outliers. These are guys that got rich early, and a lot of them, okay, I've met a lot of them, they started doing business when they were like 13, 14. They were selling stuff on Minecraft servers, and they were selling gear in different RuneScape servers. They were doing all sorts of entrepreneurial shit. So behind the scenes, they've been in business for 5 years. So look, if you're 20 or 25 or even 30 or even 40 and you think that it's too late, you are mistaken. You still have time. Be patient. Life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Keep going with the right action. Train your body, lead with purpose, develop your own sense of style, develop your own sense of presence, develop who you are. Have a clear image in your mind of who you want to become, and slowly chip away at that every single day.